Hi y'all, so welcome back to my channel. Today is laundry day, but after I put my first load in the washer, I'll show you how much I have to do today. That much. So it's not all that bad. After I get my first load in, I will show you guys my July TBR, and I will also show you what books I did end up reading in June. And sadly, I have not gotten any book mail yet for my birthday, which is totally fine because my birthday's tomorrow. So usually I give this week, dedicate to my birthday week. And so I'm hoping by the end of July to have the birthday book haul video up for you guys. So I'm going to put my load of laundry in. And then I will show you guys my July TBR. Hi y'all, so I'm back. I just put my load of laundry in. I only have 2 more loads to do for today, thank God. Okay, let's go first to my June wrap up. Alright, let's turn the light on. The sunlight's not bright today. Okay, so set you guys down here. Alright, now get you guys set up here. There we go. Okay, so in June, because of Bookopoly, thank you Bookopoly, I read a total of 22 books, 3 ebooks, 1 audiobook, and 20 or so physical copies. So I'm going to go through the ones that I do have the physical of. I'll tell you guys what I rated it. Cats Behaving Badly by Celia Hayden. I rated this 5 stars on Goodreads. I thought it was very informative. Not only because I've had cats like my whole life, but it's also informative for people who want to get a kitten and have never had a kitten before and only had like dogs or anything else. It also tells in here if you're allergic to cats what to do if you want to have a kitten but you're allergic to it. So this book it's nonfiction. I highly recommend this if you want to read up on cats and what you need when you get one. So I highly recommend this one. It's very good. Okay, my second book that I read in June was Dare to Love Again by Julie Lesman. I love this book so much. I rated it 5 stars. I actually am friends with the author on Facebook, so when I posted that I was reading this, she contacted me. She commented on my picture, and she told me to let her know what I reviewed it, so I sent her the review on Messenger on Facebook, and then she sent me a free ebook copy of one of her prequel books that's coming out, that's on Kindle right now. It's a romance, so once I read that, I'm hoping to read it next month. So once I read that, I will let you guys know what I thought of it and what the title was. Okay, my third book for June was Summer People by Brian Grow. I got this from my friend Erica. She gave me a bunch of books that she didn't want anymore because her and her husband were like cleaning out their house a little bit because they're preparing to move to buy a new house and move. So she gave me a bunch of books. This was one of them. I rated this 3 stars. It was really slow in the beginning and it was all over the place, and I really wanted to love this because the title, like summer. Like I always felt like when a book has a title of summer, it'll be really good, but this one wasn't. But I still would recommend it if you want a quick read for a readathon or for a TBR challenge. I definitely recommend this one. Okay, my 4th book I read in June was Distant Melody by Sarah Sundin. I read this with my cousin. Sadly, my cousin, she's a teacher. She's still going to college, but I think she graduates this weekend or something. I can't remember. But she's going to college down in Lynchburg, Virginia. So her reading isn't, as fast as mine, which is fine. Plus, she has her own baking business that she sells to people in her area down there. So she's busy with that. But we love this book. I rated it 5 stars. It's about a lieutenant who goes into war, and before he goes to war, he falls in love with this woman, and then he goes to war and something bad happens, and then she can sense it, and it takes you to that era of World War II. It's very life-changing, so I definitely recommend this. I do want to continue the series, Wings of Glory, so I'm hoping to continue that series later this year. Okay, my 5th book I read was Rites of Spring Break by Diana Peterfriend. I rated this 2 stars because the characters acted like they were friends, but then when one character would leave to go into the beach house, another character would talk about that character behind her back, and it felt like they were really immature and that they were just fake to each other, and I don't like that. Like, I had friends that were like that to me, and I had to dump them because of that, because I just couldn't deal with that in my life. So this was a 3-star rating. If you like beach reads, then this would be for you. But if you want to read it just to see how the series is, I do not recommend reading this book because it was just all over the place for me. Okay, number 6 that I read was Tears of the Moon by Nora Roberts. My friend Jasmine DeGrout in my online book club gave this to me because she's getting rid of a bunch of books as well and wanted me to tell her, what ones she wanted to send me, so I did. I rated this 2 stars. It just didn't make sense to me. I don't know if it's because it's the 2nd book in the Irish trilogy by Nora, but this one just didn't make sense to me. So this one I think I'm going to end up getting rid of, as well as 2 of the previous ones I just talked about, because they just weren't for me. Okay, my 7th book, physical book for June was The Silent Patient by Karen Slaughter. I rated this 5 stars. I won it in a giveaway on Goodreads back in May, I think it was. And so this comes out in July, which is next month. So if you guys want to put this on your TBR, please do. It is so good. It starts off as a thriller, and then it moves to like crime, FBI, cop show, mystery type, but then it does return to the thriller aspect later on in the book. So I definitely recommend this one. I loved it. I am a big fan of Karen Slaughter books now, so I will definitely be reading more of her books in the future. Okay, my 8th book, physical book, was The Land Beneath Us by Sarah Sundin. This one I also told her that I was reading, and so she was very glad about it. I love this book. I rated it 5 stars. It's book 3 in the Sunrise at Normandy series. So if you're wanting to read books about World War II, Germany, any of those eras, this series is definitely for you. This is about a girl who was adopted and didn't know who her parents were because they passed away when she was a baby, and her sisters were separated at a group home. But thankfully, they found each other later on, but sadly, her sisters, they ended up getting adopted, and the adopted family did not want this woman to contact her biological sisters. So that part of the story is sad, but this is a must-read because it's very informative, just like Wings of Glory Book 1 was. Okay, book number 8 I read in June was The Inheritance by Michael Phillips. I rated this 2 stars because the fact that the characters were speaking in Welsh English was really annoying to me because I couldn't understand anything that they meant. Like, I tried to translate it in my head what they meant by certain words, and it just annoyed me so much and it didn't get better, so that's why I rated it 2 stars. If you like Christian fiction and you like Michael Phillips, then this book might be for you, but for me, I will not be continuing this series. It is part of the Secrets of Shetlands series, and I felt like this was more of explaining the culture of Shetlands than it was of Christian fiction and historical fiction. So I would put this under a documentary-like book series, but it's not for me. Okay, next book I read in June was Kiss the Bride. It has 3 stories in it by Melissa McClone, Robin Lee Hatcher, and Catherine Springer. The 3 stories are Picture Perfect Love, A June Wedding. The first story in this book was very slow for me, but it did pick up in the middle. And the second ones, which were July and August wedding stories, those were really good. I read this for Romance-a-thon. It was for new to you romance author prop. So I'm glad I picked this book. I will definitely be reading more by these authors in the future, since each book is part of a series. So I will be adding those to my Amazon wish list in the coming days. My next book that I read in June was Hearts of Harmony by Beth Wiseman. This is book 1 in an Amish Journey series. I loved this one. I thought it was really cute and sweet, and the characters were really easy to get along to, so I really loved it. I was surprised to know that the Amish are not allowed to play instruments because it goes against their faith, so that was very surprising to me, but overall I loved this book. I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. So if you're curious to know what my review is, please go make sure you check out my Goodreads page and look up any of the books I mentioned on there. Next book I read was The Roll of the Drums by Jan Drexler. This is book 2 in the Amish of Weaver's Creek series. This book was interesting. It was slow for me at first, so I probably should rate it 4.5 stars, but I love Amish fiction so much that I hate to rate it anything lower than that. This was about a woman in the 1863 Amish community. She's 28 and single, and she doesn't believe that women need to be married in order to be happy. And then an alien friend dies and asks her to marry her husband, who has 3 kids. So through the book, Ruby contemplates that, but eventually toward the end, she makes her final decision. And if you like Amish fiction, I suggest you read this. It is so good. It also mentioned about Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, so it's set in Civil War era times, which I thought was really good because I love Civil War era time periods. Okay, and my second to last physical book that I read in June was The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I won this last month in a giveaway on Goodreads. I was really anxious to read this because I've never read a Christina Lauren book before, so I was hoping I'd like it. It was slow up to chapter 5, so that's why I rated it 4.5 stars on Goodreads. It was about four actors who are on a TV show called Home Sweet Home, and how they just go about their lives while they're waiting for season 2 to be announced. And I feel like the plot and the setting was all over the place because the characters had to travel for work, so that was kind of understandable. But I felt like the authors should not have said in the back of the book that they outlined the book together when they were on vacation in Salt Lake City, just using a whiteboard and 7,000 Post-it notes. Like, couldn't you write the story on a paper instead of on a whiteboard? Like, I didn't get their concept with that. But overall, I did like this book. If you need a quick romance book to read, then this book would be for you. And my final book that I'm actually reading right now, and I'm hoping to get finished this afternoon, The Farmer's Bride by Kathleen Fuller. I'm really liking it so far. It's a little confusing right now because the girl doesn't want these boys to date her, but then she's asked her friend to set her up with this other Amish man, and it's still like developing to me. It's only chapter 4 of 14 chapters, so I'm hoping it gets better. But that was my July TBR wrap up that I showed you guys. So I hope you guys liked the books that I ended up reading this month. If you have any questions of the ones that I did read, like want to know more about the story or more about my rating, just let me know in the comments below. And now I will go and show you my July TBR. I'm really excited for July because a lot of the books that I'll be reading are art copies that I received a few months ago. Okay, my first book for July that I'll be reading, which was given to me by my friend Jasmine, is By Arrangement by Madeline Hunter. I've never read a Madeline Hunter book before, but Goodreads says it's a romance, so if I land on romance in Bookopoly, then this will be one of the books I'll read. My next book is Orlando by Virginia Woolf. This is a classic. I picked it up at an antique store 15 minutes from me last summer. So I'm really anxious to read this because I've never read a Virginia Woolf book, so I hope it's really good. Next one is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. I've never read an Ernest Hemingway book before, so the size is a little intimidating to me, but I'm ready for it, because like if I stay the weekend with my relatives in Pennsylvania, then I would take this book with me and hope that I would be able to finish it by the end of the weekend. My next book is a nonfiction, The Feline Plague by Maja, Novak. This I got free from North Atlantic Books in California because I'm one of their reviewers. So every few months I was getting free books from them, but then COVID-19 happened and now they're only letting reviewers get ebook copies until California is okayed to let these book companies send out free review copies. So this is my last review copy from a company. So I'm anxious to read this and get that review to them and find out if they'll be able to send out physical copies anytime soon. Next book is Keeping the Faith by Jodi Picoult. I got this from my friend Erica. She's getting rid of a bunch of books, and a bunch of Jodi's books was in that stack. So I'm really anxious to read this. I've never read a book by Jodi before, so I hope it's good. Some people said that Jodi writes about stuff that really gets to you and makes you cry. So I'm hoping that it won't make me cry a whole lot. Okay, my next read is Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. This book was at my grandma's house in a box of stuff to get rid of. So I was able to get this out of that box and bring it home for me. So this is the complete and unabridged version, which means that there's no corrections, no nothing. So I hope that I will like this one. My next read for July is Losing You by Nicci French. I won this in a giveaway on Goodreads, which I was really happy about because I read The Lying Room by them back in January, and I really liked it. So I'm hoping that this one will be good too. This one is about a woman who awakes on her 40th birthday, anticipating to be excited about turning 40, everything that comes with turning 40. And she has a new boyfriend and 2 children, and they're taking a trip to Sandland Island, which is off the coast of England, for a dream vacation. But as soon as her 15-year-old daughter returns from a sleepover, they can get ready to leave. But her daughter doesn't come home. She's disappeared, and the back says that the police get involved, and the mother blames the mother of her daughter's friend, and so it's like a thriller mystery. I'm really excited to read this one. My next read for July is Girls' Night Out by Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. I'm really looking forward to reading this one because this is one of mine that I meant to read last year, but I never got to. So this is an art copy I won in the Bear Books group on Facebook. So I'm really excited to read this one. Oh yeah, and it's about 3 girls that go missing one night. They take a hike, and one of them goes missing, and the other 2 feel like it's their fault that their friend is missing. So that should be interesting. My next read for June is Reckless Love by Beth White. I won this in a giveaway on Library Thing, so I'm really anxious to read this because it's set in Georgia, and it looks like during Civil War era. So, and I love the cover. It looks so pretty. So I thought it would be perfect to read in July. Next read is another ARC, The Safe Place by Ann Downs. I won this in a giveaway on bookishfirst.com where you enter raffles, and if they like your review before you enter the raffle, then you get picked to win a book. And I wanted to show you guys what's really cool is they included these 2 things with the book, a postcard and a door hanger. I thought that was really cool, as well as a paper. They also included a paper for me to review this book. So I can't wait. When I do start this book, I cannot wait to post about it on Instagram, Facebook, Goodreads. So that will be really fun. So I'll put the paper back in there. So I'm ready to do that. Alright, and my next 2 books are part of a series, Andrew and Abraham by Jennifer Beckstrand. My friend Sylvia in Weeby Booking gave me these books back in April because the book club had a random kindness gifting thing. So she sent me these two, which I'm really happy about because I've been wanting to start this series. Me and my cousin Nicola that lives in Virginia will be reading this one in the probably the second or third week in July. So I'm really looking forward to that. And my last book for July is an unscripted art copy of On a Coastal Breeze by Susan Woods Fisher. I won this on a giveaway. In a giveaway on librarything.com, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's an uncorrected proof, so any mistakes that I see, I'm not to underline them, but to just tell the author, even though this book is already out. But I'm really looking forward to reading this one because her books are always so good. And this is her first contemporary series, I believe, is what her website said. I'm not totally sure of it. I also have extra books that I wasn't able to read in June. So those extra books I still need to read, which I'm hoping to read in the first week of July, is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. My book club friend Missy Guy gave it to me in a swap because I had a book she wanted, so we swapped with that. And then my other books that I meant to read this month but didn't get to were the Wanda Brunsetter Farmhouse Recipe book. I got that free through her book club on Facebook. And the other books that I wasn't able to get to this month, but I hope to get to next month, is The Hunger Games tribute guide. It's just about the show, the movie, the characters, and all that. I got this free from my friend Jasmine because it was part of the box of books she was getting rid of. My other threes that I wasn't able to get to in June are Out of Control by Mary Connolly. This is one book I got for Christmas back in December. So I'm hoping to get to that book in July. And the other two I wasn't able to get to are Alan W. Eckert books, Incident at Hawks Hill and Return to Hawks Hill. They are historical fiction books, so if I land on historical fiction in July, then I will read those and get them back to a family friend since they were loaned to me. Alright guys, that's my June wrap-up and my July TBR. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, or what ones you think I'll end up reading first. I will let you guys know at the end of next month how it went, and I hope to have my birthday book haul video up for you guys by the end of July. July is going to be a really busy month for me. My birthday, my mom's birthday, my cousin's birthday, a family reunion that we're still not sure is happening because of COVID-19. So I'm hoping that this week I will know whether that will be happening or not because I'm secretary on the board for that. It's my mom's grandpa's side of the family, so it's my great-grandpa's family reunion. Sadly, he passed away in 1988, 2 years before I was born, so I do this in memory of him. So I think that's about it, how my July will be. I honestly hope I get a lot of reading done, but since July is always a busy month for me every year, I won't be surprised if I don't get to read all the books I mentioned to you in my July TBR. So I will let you guys go. Let me know what you think of my video, and make sure to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, And if you want to friend me on Facebook, go ahead. I always love getting in touch with other book reviewers or book lovers or authors or bloggers, whatever. It's really a great community to be a part of. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.